Go.
Oh, I don't see the opening. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Grandma's Attic, local music review here on MetroCast. Today, I'm really lucky to have a guest. I'm lucky to have a guest with me that didn't plan on being here last week.
Surprise.
A surprise. His name is Mike Rogoff, and he's been busy in the music industry here in New London County for about, give or take, 30 years.
Yeah, it's pushing it right about that, yeah.
And we're going to talk about all of that. So you got a little bit of quiet time there for a minute, and I'm sorry about that, but I had no monitor. But, you know, this is live TV, so sometimes it's just how it goes. How are you, Mike?
I'm doing good, you know. Life throws its challenges at you, and you deal with them.
I did.
Yes,
so I picked up the phone and made a phone call yesterday.
Yeah, you got me. It was funny because we do the Common Ground open mic at the Buckley House every Wednesday, and
we'll get back and talk to that.
Right. But anyways,
let's get to
so
this.
we're getting ready to set up, and bring the phone rings, and who is it?
Me.
Mike, what are you doing tomorrow? Tell me what I'm doing tomorrow, Dot. You know, because I could just tell.
When Grandma calls, usually
calls.
there's a reason.
Yep.
So my guest that I had planned for today overbooked herself, and I'm actually thinking that may be a really good thing because you're here.
Yeah, surprise.
And we have so much to talk about.
Sure.
You know,
absolutely.
You're slowly, but definitely boldly. Even though you're going slow, you're boldly putting yourself back into the music business. First with writing some of your own stuff and getting it out there at the Common Ground open mic, which is on Wednesdays
every
at
Wednesday,
the Buckley House.
7 to 11. Bring your guitars.
Get there
or
early.
not. Get there early.
Yeah, you do have to get there early, and you do have to sign up. And if you get there late, and you can be on the list, but
snooze,
at 11 o'clock it's done.
It's you snooze, you lose.
Yeah.
But, you know, and I tell you what, it's not an easy thing running sound for 10, 20, 30 different acts and trying to get them all up in that short period of time. So, you know, it's a challenge, but it's like riding along on the razor's edge. You know, you're always one step away from disaster, but that's what's so cool about it.
Right, and you're working with some of the area's more talented musicians.
Oh, yeah.
Vince Tuckwood helps you with sound and stuff. Oh, isn't he?
Yeah,
great?
you know what? He's a good egg. And it's so funny, we were talking last night, and I'm like, you're not English, you're British. He said, absolutely. I said, because we mangled the English language. He's British. You know, he's like,
too. And they're always so perfectly polite and proper.
But he's not sometimes.
Well, sometimes,
you know what? No, you know what? And there's Craig Johnson. And, you know, Craig's, I've known Craig for, over 30 years. And, you know, we're like brothers. And that's the good thing about it. You know, if you're going to do something like that, it's got to have its own vibe, but it's got to have its highs and lows because we're dealing with, I don't know what's going to walk through that door.
Right.
I have no idea what's going to walk through that door. And I like it, but it scares the living bejesus out of me sometimes.
What happened with the 10-year-old last night?
Okay. The 10-year-old came up and played, and she was fine. And there was somebody being very rude about it. And he's a person I've also known for 30 years. And I asked him if he could chill, and he got belligerent with me. And it's like, oh my God. You know.
Wasn't she good though?
She was awesome, but I didn't get to enjoy it because there was a person there that wasn't respecting it. So if you go down there, we will make sure that the people in the room respect you when you play.
Right.
Okay?
Well, I mean, the bottom line is, and here's where I'm coming from. I am not a musician.
Right.
But I respect the heck out of any of you guys that can get up, take an instrument, and make it have sound that comes out that sounds okay, and then get up on stage. I have really, really big stage fright. I know that you're like, really? But I do. I have really big stage fright.
Me too. No, I'm serious. Before this, and if you guys want to find out when I'm playing, it's Mike Rogoff on Facebook. Haha. Okay, I did my. Yes, that's right. Shameless self-promotion. That's me. Where were we? Oh no.
Shameless self-promotion.
He's shameless. He's just shameless.
I love that.
When you're playing out, first off, it's an honor to play amongst people. It
is.
And, you know, quite often when you're going to a show, I'll be driving to the show and I'm like, I don't feel very musical. Because, you have to deal with whatever you deal with during the day. And then at a certain point, you get your guitar on, everything's plugged in, you start playing, all of a sudden, somebody hits a switch and you're on, and there you are, and then you're into what you do. And if the people are giving it back, it's such a pleasure to give it back to them twice.
There's magic involved with that.
I'm always looking for magic, and you know what? If you have one little magic moment, well, it was worth plugging your stuff in.
Well, and it's always one fan at a time anyway. But the magic about open mic is that everybody that comes there has something that they feel is good enough to share. Right. Now, that doesn't mean that they're all going to be amazing musicians. As a matter of fact, on a percentage level, there's a lot that are not that good.
Let me say this about that. Okay. Now, it's open mic. And open mic is, to a certain degree, karaoke for musicians. Okay? And you're going to have some that are good and some that are better than others. But you know what? That moment they're up there, they get the chance to shine. Now, and the constant battle is, people... Well, I don't think we have to sit like it's a mausoleum and just listen, but not be too loud and disrespectful to the musician. Right. But then again, when you get the drums up there, you can't possibly be loud enough to be disrespectful for him when it's like that. Right. So, it's like I said, it's like this, it's like a crazy roller coaster. And me and Craig just had our first year anniversary doing this, and it's strong. It's really strong.
It really has become, quote, the open mic to get to.
Right.
It's become a destination, and more than just an event now.
Right.
It's now more of and this is a word that is more 60s than 2013.
Gee, I wonder why.
But it's more of a happening.
Yeah.
You know what a happening was back in the 60s? Yeah. It was when groups gathered and they happened and it went down, and then it kind of goes away. But open mic, Common Ground open mic hasn't gone away yet, and I don't think it's going to anytime in the near future. But it's a happening because people are just gathering, and the people that are really involved have created and are feeling a we are as one vibration.
Right. And the people, that actually we've had a new addition, and Trevor comes with an awesome PA, much better than my PA. So it's
Trevor Giles?
Yes, Trevor's. He's a great musician. He's a sweet.
He really is.
He's a sweet guy, and his system is a step up from what I had. And it's like going from driving my little Ford POS, and we know what that is, to like driving like a brand new car. Yeah, brand new car with a brand new car smell, and I'm like, oh yeah, baby. So what I did is I added my board onto it, so now we have enough channels to do everything we want. So if drums or whatever show up, we can handle anything now.
That's great.
Right. So, and so the good thing is it keeps evolving. And I think anything can't stagnate. It has to keep growing in its own way.
Right.
And
yet it still needs to stay the same size. Physically,
right?
Physically, it can't grow. It just needs to grow technologically.
It's a 300 or 400 year old building. We're not going to be blasting out any walls. The room's not going to get any bigger.
Right.
And since we do it on Wednesday, we can't really do it out in the tiki bar because they get the thing that they do over at the hygienic. So they get the deal worked out. But you know what? It's what it is. And I for the most part, in the middle of the week, we call it the hump day hoedown sometimes. Because, it's where you can go jam in the middle of the week and, get away from your job for a night. Granted, Thursday may be a little rough. It happens.
It's rough for some people.
Yeah, right. Okay,
Yeah.
But you're almost a little wrung out after it's all over because it's very emotional. And you got to, you got to deal with everybody's emotions in that room. So you got to kind of steer the ship, nudge it this way, nudge it that way. If it's heading towards an iceberg, you're not going to be able to put the brakes on it. So you got to make sure you keep it sort of going on the right track.
You either sidewipe it or hit it head on.
Right. And we've had a couple rough nights there. But oh God, I mean, we've done at this point 60 of them. You know what? If we've had 3 or 4 rough ones, I'll take those odds any day.
People are coming from across the bridge from the old Saybrook
area. Yeah, I know.
And from Rhode Island. So you're
I come from Rhode Island.
I know. But you're bringing in some of the best musicians from the whole New London County area, and then some.
Right.
And that speaks volumes for what's going on there.
Thank you. You know, Craig, Trevor, and I, and Vince, and Vince, and you know, I mean,
Tom Lisi is
he
comes in his accordion.
You know, he's the sweetest guy in the world. You know what it is? It's about people, and like, you know, where we started, we get the right bartender. Mary Beth she's our girl, and she's like, you guys are stuck with me. So she's as much a supporter of it as anybody that plays there and anybody that brings equipment there.
That's important too.
So, you know, we're all part of the same team, the same little screwed up dysfunctional family, you know, and it's got to be like that, you know. It's got to have its own little drama that goes on with it. But ultimately, you know, the creed is, Craig asked me about this 2 summers ago, because him and Al, the owner, were talking about it. And I like, yeah, like, we all need to find common ground. He's like, we should call it that. And ta-da, here we are, you know.
A little over a year later, that's a great thing.
It's a good creed.
It is.
It is.
It is.
It is.
So, on top of that, you're also writing some music and doing some of your own stuff. You just got the opportunity to play out
at the Nick.
At the Nick.
And I got a band. It was
how was
cool.
that?
You know what? It's cool. I've been kind of doing this thing with me and my looper and my original stuff for the last 1.5 years. And I've had some really good musicians come up and say, I want to do that with you. So, because there's this thing that I do, and it's what I do. And everybody has their own shtick and their own thing. And I was, you know, kind of honored that they want to do this with me. So, actually, the beginning of it was that me and the drummer went and did a thing, Abu and Ema, they have this big festival up in the middle of Montville, and there's like 300, 400, 500 people, and it's a little more deadheady and stuff like that. Jeff was sick, and Contagious, the bass player, couldn't make it, so me and the drummer went and did it. So I did a show for him, so I had this thing at the Nick, and so he did it with me, so it was kind of a thing like that.
Right.
And we had 2 practices.
Wow.
2 practices. And these are songs, well, Jeff's been coming out, because I do, you know, solo gigs. Actually, I'm going to be at the Brazen Hen next Thursday, and I got to get butts in the seats on that one. So if anybody's out and about, go to the Brazen Hen. It's in Westerly. It's in downtown Westerly. So when you go there, there's probably 3, 4, 5 bars that have something going on within walking distance.
Perks
so you
and
can,
Corks,
Barley,
Malted Barley, Brazen Hen,
Bridge
Street.
No, Bridge, you're right, when you come over the bridge. And the Nick has an open mic going on there. Mm-hmm. So, you know, so you can do this, you can do the crawl, as we call it. So, you know, it's right up the road from my house, so I love gigs like that, you know.
You're playing at the Brazen Hen next Thursday?
Next Thursday, the 21st.
Okay, great.
Oh, and then the 22nd, I'm doing a happy hour at the Buckley House.
Great.
So,
great.
You know.
So those are ways to see you, but
yes,
we get to do something more important than that.
Ooh, I get to play?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why don't you do that? Let's have a couple of songs.
All right. Yeah,
this is Mr. Mike Rogoff. He's been in the music scene here in New London for give or take 30 years, and now he's going to bless
Singing
us.
since I was 5. Do you remember the old Jackson 5 cartoons? I'd be singing, doing the dances with them.
I'm not old enough to remember that.
Actually, I'll do a song I wrote for my daughter. I can see forever. So her smile, the brightens up my day. All I know is that it feels so right. She got that special kind of love every night.
another brings joy to the room. Such is picture perfect. Not from a hand to the moon. And all I know is that I feel complete. No lies. And there's no deceit. And all I know is that it feels so right. She got that special kind of love. Oh, said I'll never get enough. Said I'm always enough. Oh, every night. Cause there's that world out there, and it might try to keep my girl down. I said I'll always be there, and I always care whenever she needs me around, and when she wants her daddy around. Said I'll try to be there. Every night. Said I'll try to be there. And all I know is that it feels so right. Yep, that's Morgan's song. It's so funny. I thought it was called Every Night, but my daughter's like, play In Her Eyes, Daddy, because that's the first line of the song. And I'm like, well, I guess it's her song. She can name it whatever the heck she wants. I guess.
So I write a lot of songs about family.
Yeah,
you
I
know.
like songs about family too.
Oh, we went out of tune a little bit, guys. Excuse me.
We tune because we care, right?
You can tune a piano, but you can't tune a fish. Me. Close enough. So, I might as well stay on the family thing here. This is one I wrote. This is one of the first songs I ever wrote.
Is this a song about your mom?
No, I'm not ready for that yet. I'll work up to that.
Okay, great. Because I love that song.
This is one of the first ones I ever wrote, and I hadn't been hanging out with my family a lot, and well, I was an angry young man, and my dad wasn't having none of that. So, so it's called Family. That I haven't always been the son you dreamed of when you held that baby in your arms. Many years ago, you saw great visions for me. Are things the way you thought they'd be? We all care, we're family. See each other through every tragedy. What it boils down to is I love you and you love me.
That was my gift, all for you. Fruit of your lungs. Also, I stand proud whether I'm right or wrong. Knowing I made a decision, and I live with the outcome. We all care, one big family. I'll be with each and every one of you through every tragedy. What it boils down to is I love you, and you love me. You love me. Part of one big family. Oh yeah, I'll be with each and every one of you through every tragedy. What it boils down to is I love you, and you love me. You love me. You love me. Thank you.
Towards the end of that, it almost sounds like a question.
Yeah. That's how I wrote it, you know.
Almost like a question.
No, it is, you know, because, well, we all haven't. I haven't always been, you know, probably maybe the best son or brother or even father sometimes. Yeah, right. You know, I mean, but you know what? Like, you know, with parenthood, my daughter's 15. She's getting most of the A's. She's a good kid. She don't pull half the crap that I pulled.
Right.
Not even. She doesn't pull any of the crap I pulled.
Well, I know what I was doing at 13, and I have a 13-year-old now, and yeah, there's just.
I was an idiot. Dad, I'm sorry. Mom, sorry.
My parents are
Thanks
still
for loving
here.
me, you know.
My parents are still here, and I've got to tell them. I've had the opportunity to tell them I'm sorry for.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway,
darn it.
Yeah, that's a good thing. We don't need to.
Sorry about that.
So, when did you actually start playing music? And I hear some of your influences in your music, but why don't you tell our audience who some of your biggest influences are?
Well, you know, it was funny. I knew that would come up, and I was thinking about it, and here's the answer that I came up with. Everything I've ever heard, everything I've ever seen, anything I've ever done, and anything I've ever dreamed. It's like, you know, just everything has been an influence. But, you know, obviously there's definitely, you know, Zeppelin. For some reason my voice likes to go there. You know,
really
you know.
And anybody that knows anything Zeppelin knows that you sound like.
Right, yeah, you know.
Yeah.
You know, but trying to find your own voice in your songs. And it came to me a few years ago. This person that's talking to you, there needs to be some aspect of that in all your singing in all your own songs.
But you're definitely there in the songs that you write, Mike.
Yeah, you know.
And we hear that in your even in your songs that aren't about family.
Yeah.
We hear you.
Right.
And when you're performing with a live audience, as I've seen you do, you connect with them also. And I don't know anybody that has seen you perform live that doesn't connect with you.
You make eye contact with every person out there. The more people, the tougher it is.
It is.
But I think, you know, a good show is about sharing. You know, we're all sharing back and forth with each other, and you know, hopefully, you know, I can take you on a little journey through your emotions. Because, you know, songs cover everything, you know? I was thinking about the gigs, you know, the toughest gig in the world, I played Tears in Heaven next to my mom's casket. That was the toughest gig in the world. But then there's other gigs where, you know, the birth of, I played every party known imaginable to man, and it's like, you got to get in with the spirit of what's going on around you. You know, you can't be oblivious to what's going on if you're a musician.
Right.
Any musician that gets up on stage and thinks they're better than anybody or anything other than it's a big sharing thing, has got their head up their butt and really should extricate it, because
Right,
you know
right.
it's I don't know, it's an honor to get up in front of people and play. It's a
Well, it
privilege.
is, and that's one of the things that open mic gives people that haven't experienced that
Right.
the opportunity to do. And people that have experienced
Want to know what one
it-
of my jobs is? To spot the person in the crowd that plays and is coming just to check it out. And I said, if I see a new face, I go up and I say hello. If I had an Indian name, it would be Talks to Strangers. So you know, and are you a musician? And they'll go, yeah, but I sing a little bit. I'm like, you're going to play tonight? Oh, wait, come on, go put your name up on the list. Come on, you know. And there are people that now actually play out. Actually, you want to hear? Do you know Andy Chaney from Sugar?
Yep.
Okay, him and Bethany stopped up. It was an open mic that I wasn't running, but I was sort of kind of helping run it. And you know, it was up at the General Stanton Inn up in Charlestown.
Mm-hmm.
And Andy, you know, he's like, I can play bass standing on my head, but you know, he'd never played acoustic out in front of people. And Bethany never sang in front of people. And I said, well, go put your name on the list, and you know, so they went and did it. And then they ended up coming to a couple open mics I have. Now they play out all the time. So it's kind of like my kids, you know.
Right.
You know, in that way,
Nice, though.
you know, and I think, you know, that ultimately, you know, the open mics, you know, some of the people in bands are a little like, oh, it's a gig I don't have. It's like, no, you know what? We need to train the next generation of music of how to do it right.
Well, exactly.
Yeah. And how to compose yourself at a show, and you know, and
How to
not
get
be a
on
dumbass.
stage, how to get on stage and
Yeah.
be who you are and engage an audience at
Yeah.
the same time. And open mic certainly gives everybody the opportunity to do that.
Yep.
When was the first time you were ever on stage? And were
Oh.
you scared crapless?
Oh yeah, right. Actually, it was at church. It was at church. I had to sing a solo.
Ooh.
I've been singing. I've always been the kid that sings solo. In high school, I made All Eastern and All New England. No, excuse me, All State and All Eastern in chorus.
Cool.
So you know, so I don't have an actual memory, but I'm sure it was sometime when I was young. I probably had to do. Oh God, you know what? The one that jumps to mind, but I know it wasn't the first, was my mom's dad. The last time he came to church, I sang "How Great Thou Art."
It's one of my favorites, you know.
Yeah, that's a little heavy.
I sing that
you know,
too.
and you know what? I like the fact that I can think about things with music, and it's heavy. You know, it gives you a lump in your throat, a tear in
Yep.
your eye, or a smile on your face, or it makes you think. You know, it's just a vehicle to be a little more human, I think. Ooh, that was good. I got to remember that.
Yeah, you better write that one down.
Yeah, I
Mike.
better write that one down.
I believe that for me, because I'm not a musician and because I'm so connected with music, I mean, music is in my roots all the way back.
Right.
Generations of musicians. And then it comes to me and I'm born with music in my spirit,
Yeah.
but I can't do it.
Right.
I can read music, but I can't play the piano.
You know what? Music needs people to listen.
Music needs people to sell it.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
So there I am. But what it gives me is such a respect for people that can write music that goes from you out to all of us and then makes what we have here tangible.
Right.
Do you understand what I mean?
Well,
When
you gotta
I
stir
have
up the heart a
music,
little, yeah.
I don't know what this emotion is that I have right here.
Right.
Then I hear that song
Right.
and it takes me to that emotion,
Right.
but puts a name on
Right.
it. And that's what musicians do that's so important.
Right.
And you
Sometimes they take you back to its time and place.
exactly.
You know, like
that
like,
also.
like when I play these songs, there's always something with every one of them that I remember my daughter looking up to me, say play in her eyes, Daddy, and when I have grandkids, I'm gonna still see that,
Right.
You ever see that commercial with the guy where he's talking to the little girl sitting in the car, and all he sees is her when she's little, and it's actually her when she's a teenager driving the car, but that's all he sees is the little girl.
It's the little girl.
That's what it's all about,
yeah,
man.
it is. I see you go into a song, so
Yeah, right. Actually, I was just thinking.
absolutely.
Actually,
Song. Because I think a lot of
I know how pathetic I am. As we all are as human beings. There's times we have these bright, shiny moments where we can achieve anything, and then we have these other moments where it's like, not so good. So I wrote this song called "Just a Man." So, yeah, they all got a story.
may never explore or pave the way. I may never inspire others to be more than they are. I just might make some people happy when they're just driving in their cars. All the things I'm not, and all that I am. Successes and failures, because I'm just a man. No innocence organic except through a child's eyes. I may never be naive, susceptible to so many lies. I may be jaded or fainted, oh, anything but new. I might be Irish or black, or even just a colored Jew. All the things I'm not, and all that I am. Successes and failures, because I'm just a man. Just a man. A man who hopes and dreams, cries and screams, and he wakes up every day. Two ropes and feels through all the years, 'cause he's said he's just a man. 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 Yeah.
That.
You like that? It's very self-deprecating, though.
I haven't heard that yet.
How could you not hear that? I play it almost every show. You know what? It's funny because
Did you play it at the Nick?
Yeah, first song.
I missed your first song.
Oh, you missed my first song.
I got there just as you had gone on stage, and I had
Actually, we haven't when you got there because I said hi, Dot, because I've got it on. Actually, I have the CD out in the car.
Cool.
So, actually, can I get a DVD of this?
Yes, you do.
Okay, that'd be very cool. Yeah, I know, really. I'm looking up. I'm like, who's the idiot on the TV screen? I'm like, oh my God, it's me. You know.
Let's get back to the show. We have about 20 minutes left. So how time flies when we're having fun. Let's talk. Oh my gosh, I knew today was going to be happening. So, okay, what are you doing besides, number one, you're raising your daughter.
Yeah.
Kudos.
Right. And her mom lives like 3 miles away, so she's got to back and forth between the two of us. So, we're raising her together. We're just not together no more. and that's cool.
Well, that's going on in a lot of homes nowadays, and it's a good thing that you guys are good.
We can't live together anymore, but we still have a child together, and we have to. It's our job to make sure that this kid kind of does good stuff and good things in the world. You know what I'm saying?
She must be doing well if she's got A's and she has you for a dad. Well, is she musical?
You know what? I think it's under there, but I think I scare her. Because when they're just, I suppose, I don't mean to cast a big shadow, but maybe in her eyes I do, I don't know.
Well, because she's a little girl.
Yeah, you're right. She's 15, she's not little no more.
I know, but in your eyes, she's a little girl.
Yeah, right.
In her eyes, and I'll give you, from the perspective of a daughter.
And she wants to get her way.
You're daddy.
Yeah.
And my daddy is still daddy.
Daddy, yeah, right.
And
Daddy, yeah.
I'm grown, and I still call him daddy.
Yeah.
And I still feel about this big when I'm talking to him, and I still want him to hold me like I'm a little girl.
Right. You know what? My dad definitely cast a big shadow. But it was old school. It was a little different back in the day. Yeah. So I think that we're able now. I think you get a little more out of your kids if you're a little. I mean, you gotta say no like a parent, but to get the information out of them, you have to be a little more with them and be friends with them to a certain aspect. A little bit. But you got to crack the whip when you need to. And now my girlfriend has 5 kids, so she's a sweet lady, so I get stuck being bad cop. But my mom was a don't wait till your father gets home person, so it's kind of like, oh darn, I did it again, And the next generation they got, but you know what? I hate to say, fear is a motivator sometimes with children, Yeah, I mean, no kid should walk around in fear all the time, but you should fear screwing up and doing things you shouldn't do.
You should fear the people that are raising you and put a roof over your head.
Right.
To the extent that they could stop raising you and feed you water and bread and let you sleep on the floor.
You know what? I could never. I feed everything. I like to cook, so right. So I'll feed everything. So I couldn't do that.
So I want to do a concert calendar. So why don't you take a quick little break? I'm going to run through the concert calendar. And I'm going to run through the concert calendar.
You do what you got to do.
It's a good thing.
Yes, it's a good thing. I'll be back in a minute.
I do want to give you guys all a heads up starting tomorrow, all the things that will be going on in the area and out of the area. Tomorrow is Sunday, the 11th, and Lisa Marie Presley is at the Iron Horse in Northampton, and that show starts at 7 p.m. Elvis Costello is at the Wilbur Theater in Boston. Jane Herships, Carrie Ashley Hill are at Cafe 9 in New Haven, and that show starts at 8 p.m. That's Tuesday, the 19th. Wednesday, the 20th, Daphne Lee Martin is at Perks and Corks in Westerly. If Jesus Had Machine Guns, Pocket Vinyl are at Cafe 9 in New Haven. That show starts at 9 p.m. Thursday, the 21st, J.C. Hatfield will be at Sneakers. That's a local show with no cover. That's a fun show. Sneakers is right across the bridge. It's a great venue. The bar goes all the way around. There's tables on the outside of the bar, and the stage is there. It's a great place to go see music. And there's no cover. That show is from 7 to 10. Early show, you can be home. Then Friday, that Thursday night, also Mike Rogoff, who just told you, will be in Westerly also at the Hen. I forgot the name. But anyway, the Hen. What's the name of the Hen? The Brazen Hen. The Brazen Hen. Okay. So and then Friday night, the 22nd. Good Night, Blue Moon, Great Elk, and the Naked Stills are at Cafe 9. The McLean Sisters and the Julios are at the Tamarack Lodge on Saturday the 23rd, and that's where I'm going to stop. That's the week coming up in music. It's good stuff. Get out and see it. This week, get out and see music. Support local music. Listen, Black Friday is also coming up. Let me just tell you that small store shop something, I don't know what the name of the holiday is, but is November 30th. What it is all about is going out and supporting your local merchants. I can't tell you enough how important it is to our local economy, which really is all you should care about, is our local economy, because without it, we're all screwed. But Saturday, the 30th of November, is support local small stores. Go do your Christmas shopping. It might cost you a little extra dollar, but that little extra dollar is going to stay here in our community. I'm just going to tell you a few of the shops you could visit. Sweetie's is a bakery shop on Bank Street. The Telegraph is a vinyl store on Golden Street. On the corner of Green and Golden is the bookstore. These are places that you can buy some of the best. Spindrift Guitars is on the corner of State and Eugene O'Neill Drive. Caruso's is right across the street.
Yeah, right. Can you go on it?
Oh my gosh. There's tattoo parlors all up and down Bank Street. Give your favorite nephew a tattoo for Christmas.
The Buckley House?
Your sister, the Buckley House, you could get gift certificates to all the local restaurants.
Right, they have live entertainment and all that.
My goodness,
You can do the crawl like on a Friday night. There's all sorts of music downtown, isn't there?
Yep, absolutely. Local music, and like I said, support your local everything. Local merchants, local music, local artists, all the galleries. Get out there and support local, because it's going to keep us as a community alive. So
I'm local for local.
I'm local for local.
Oh, yeah.
Good. So Mike's back with us. I'm here with Mike Rogoff, and he's been active in the music scene since I was a very little girl, about 30 years. Sorry.
But like I said, I've been singing since I was 5, and when I was like 17, actually it was in between my junior and senior year, where Silver's Package Store is in Waterford. The house next door had a yard sale, and there was a guitar and amp, and my mom drove by, and she saw it for a couple of days, and she's like, all right, I'll tell him. So for $50, I got my first guitar and amp. I've been singing my whole life, but when I got the guitar, and I looked in the mirror, there was a musician staring back at me. And at that point, and it's been downhill ever since.
No, it's
you know what I mean.
It hasn't been downhill because number one, you're an inspiration to other musicians. You're an inspiration to me, and I'm not a musician.
Right.
And you write some music that does exactly what we were talking about earlier. It touches the heart and lets the soul breathe and figure out. For those of us that don't know where our emotions are or where they're coming from, it gives our emotions a name.
You want to hear the other unintended consequence? I realize, as we get older, someday I'm going to be gone, and my daughter's going to own all these songs.
Right.
Right? And if I'm not around and she has like a question in life, chances are good I probably dealt with that, and I probably wrote it down in a song some way, because that's how I handle stuff,
Right.
Well, I got a happy song. What kind of a happy song?
I like happy songs.
All right. Well, it's a little departure from what I normally do, but. Night is falling, people are calling, and you're caught in the flow of the day. You got to rise above it and learn to love it. Change the rules of the games you play. Should I tell you true? You've got nothing to prove, and perspective is it's all in your head. All in your head. Well, the day is rising and people are thinking that things could be oh so cool. If I could just get over what I'm dealing with and move on to what I got to do. Because the choice is yours, and it's not a chore, and perspective is it's all in your head. Said it's all in your head. You gotta laugh 'cause no one wants to cry, whether you sink or whether you fly, because the choice is yours.
that you got. Well, it is. Said it's all in your head. Said it's all, oh no, all in your head. Said it's all, no, it's all in your head. 'Cause it's all in your head.
Actually, oddly enough, I haven't played that one out in a while, and I was like, oh, wow.
That was a great song.
You know what? It's nice to have enough original songs that it's like, oh, I haven't played that one in a while. You know what I mean? And literally, a lot, you know, like a lot of stuff that may be written on like a piano or something like this, but some of them are a little more orchestrated, so you've never heard them because I would need 10 people to play it. You know, so so I probably got at least 500 songs sitting around the house somewhere. You know.
Just an opinion.
Yeah.
And it's time to put them down on.
Well, so now there's something you don't know about. I have a studio band.
And when's the CD come out?
Actually, the CD is almost in the can, and this week we're going to be doing pictures. It's the name of the band is called Upside Downside.
Okay, so here's another question: who's busting that CD out for you?
That is Bob Cowley.
No, who's going to be the first person to put it on the radio for
probably you. Oh yeah, absolutely.
So. That goes without saying, right?
She just went on Gramma on me.
Yes, I did. That's my job.
You went on Gramma on me.
Yes, I did. Mike, I am so blessed to have you here today. Here's another, it's a question.
Uh-oh.
Where do you see you and your new CD in 5 years?
Oh, ruling the world? Actually, you know what? I want to make enough money to send my daughter to the college she wants to go. She wants to be an English teacher. So, you know what? If just one song sells, if something makes enough money that she can go to college and she can realize her dreams, I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know?
That's a good goal.
You know, it's funny. I like social situations, but you got to be able to go home and get away from it. You know what I'm saying?
You do.
So, I live in Westerly, and I was doing some work in Watch Hill, and like literally probably within 100 yards of Taylor Swift's house. And you know, when she moved there, everyone was like, "Who, Taylor Swift?" I'm like, you know what? She probably just wants to come here and feel like a normal person, because everybody makes a big deal of her everywhere, and she's probably sick of it. She just wants to be a normal person.
And hang out alone.
Hang out, or just hang out with some friends, and it's just like me and you talking like now. You know, just be part of a community and not be the big deal of the community. Yeah, because you know, she gets enough of that. You know.
Right.
You know, maybe a place like, you know, she can go and, you know, do something that the whole world doesn't need to know about and the whole world doesn't find out.
The opposite of Cheers. Cheers was sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name. Sometimes you want to go where nobody knows your name, and you can just be you. I think that one of the things for me about doing radio is that everybody knew the voice, but no one knew the face.
Now they know you.
It's a little.
It's a double-edged sword. Now, if you're going to throw yourself out there,
I'd still prefer it to be not about me at all, but to be all about you.
Right.
So do another song, because it isn't about me. It's about you and your music. And
it's never about me.
To the end of the show, it's always about the musicians, though.
All right, I'm going to go a little sad on you just because. That's my mom. And, you know,
this is your mom's song?
Yeah, this is my mom's song.
I love this song. This is the first song you ever played on any of my shows.
Leave your troubles behind. Find your peace. Look down on this family. Say enjoy your sleep. Said we all miss you greatly. With the coming grace. 'Cause those first few days were so hard to face. that you know my brothers. Hold on again. And I know where I come from. And I know where I've been. So I know you can see us with a smile on your face. 'Cause those first few days were so hard to face. Yeah, so hard to face. I'll never forget. And I'll try to move on from my greatest loss. Now that you're gone, now that you go, now that you go, now that you're gone, oh, that you're gone, now that you're gone. Now that you're gone. Yeah, you know, I know she's always looking down on me. You know.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, she is.
What a great song.
Yeah, you know, and the best ones are the 5-minute ones. You know, the ones you just a pure burst of inspiration. And I literally picked up the guitar, played it, and wrote it. And that was it, and I haven't changed it since. I have a person say, well, you should do it. No. That's it.
Alone.
Leave it alone. It ain't broke.
Alone. How many times have I asked you to play that song?
Yeah, every time you see me.
Because it's such a great song.
Yeah.
We have time for you to do one more, and then we're going to have to go.
Okay.
So,
I got one for you.
Mike Rogoff, here from New London. You can see him, catch him live at Common Ground, which is at the Buckley House open mic on Wednesday evenings from 7 to 11. Get there early and sign up, or you're not going to get on stage.
And the one you missed was the happy hour I'm doing next Friday at the Buckley House.
Oh,
you missed that. Yeah, right? So,
sorry.
Yeah, you didn't put it in the computer, see?
Yeah.
Put it in the computer.
All right.
So, you want to know how I play?
If you're a musician, you're out there, and you want to be on my concert list, send me an email to Gramma at grammasatticpromos.com, and I'll put you on my list.
This is why I play. And I'll be dreaming for the next time. Oh, gonna shovel it out like some fine wine. Oh, we're all born to be good time. When I play, it's why I play. 'Cause it just picks me up, takes me away.
Yep, another 5-minute window. The good ones always take 5 minutes.
That's a happy song.
That's a happy song. They're not all happy, but they can't be. Because thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, right. You're a sister. Give it a fist.
I'm not into all that. I'm too old for that.
You know what?
Thing is
You're not too old for anything because you do Facebook. And you text and you do all the other stuff the kids are doing. So you know what?
Okay.
And actually, you know what? Shaking hands, if you think about it, with our germaphobe society, that's a way of not passing germs.
All right, cool.
All right, so.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, dear.
For all y'all out there watching, thank you so much for tuning in to Grandma's Attic Local Music Review. We'll be back next week when we're going to have here in the studio Camacho and his rap hip hop yum. So come back next week for that. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Is that a genre?
Rap hip hop yum?
Yeah, right.
Well, for Grandma.
They'll be giving them Grammys out.